It is this, that those who are committing genocide in Gaza, that crime of genocide cannot be placed at the feet of the religion of Judaism. That is the conclusion we've arrived at. And there is scriptural support for it. If I had the time, we'd have taken you to Surah to Bani Israel of the Quran. Just give me 1 minute. وَقَدَيْنَا إِلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ فِي الْكِتَابِ لَتُفْسِدُنَّ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَّتَيْنِ وَلَتَعْلُنَّ عُلُوًّا كَبِيرًا. That Banu Israel, the Israelite people, will commit fasad in the land. Fasad, I said, is equivalent to treason. But they'll do it twice, and both occasions occurred before the Quran was revealed. So why does the Quran not speak about the one that is now taking place? Answer: because it's not Banu Israel which is planning it. It is not Banu Israel which is executing the genocide. It is Gog and Magog. That is our conclusion from this very important session today. Secondly, that while there are Jews who are on the wrong side of history, there are also Jews who are on the right side of history. And the Quran speaks about them when it says, لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء. Don't take Jews and don't take Christians as your friends and allies. Now listen. بعضهم أولياء بعض. Who themselves are friends and allies of each other. I am not native Arab, so how come I am explaining it the way they can't explain it? بعضهم أولياء بعض. So there are Jews and Christians who are going to reconcile and form friendship and alliance. And when that happens, don't take them as your friends and allies, because that's the Gog and Magog alliance. But there are other Jews and Christians. وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. And amongst the Jews, and I'm going to end now. There's so much in the Quran. And amongst the Jews and the Christians, Rabbi Sofa might be listening to this for the first time. Rabbi Beck might be listening to this for the first time. وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. And amongst the Jews and the Christians, لَمَن يُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ. There are those who have faith in the one God. Now listen. وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. And they also will believe in this Quran, which came down on the other side of the mountain. We just have to wait, and we have to reach out to them with love and affection and with wisdom, but that seems to be short supply in the world of Islam today, wisdom. So there is a tomorrow that is coming when they will all accept the Quran to be the word of God, but they still follow Moses. They still belong to that religious community. They don't have to be followers of Muhammad and follow this Sharia, Allah's blessing be upon him. They still remain a people who follow Moses and David and Solomon. لَمَن يُؤْمِنَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكُمْ وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْهِمْ إِلَى آخِرِ الْآيَةِ. So there's something else that is coming out of today's session, and that is that there is a tomorrow when believing Jews and believing Christians and believing Muslims, who all worship the same one God, would come together in friendship and alliance to teach the Zionists the alternative to their godlessness and to their oppression.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Imran.
I just try to address what you say from my perspective. Again, I'm not a politician, and if you will ask what is the solution and what we can do, I cannot say cannot look on that from the political perspective. I'm a Jewish rabbi, and I'm just saying the words of the Torah. Again, I mentioned it already, that in the Torah is written that the rebellion against the Almighty cannot be succeed. 100% that the state of Israel will come to an end. Like now is day, I'm clear in that. 100% they will come to an end. I pray to God, in all of us praying, that should be in a peaceful way, nobody looks for bloodshed, but that will come 100%. And the Sheikh said, it will be a tomorrow. It will come 100%. The state of Israel will come to an end. Now, if it should be with a war, a peaceful, again, I'm not a politician to say, I'm just saying that it's not a must that it should be by the way of a war. I mean, I just give you an example. Everybody remembers, I don't know everybody, the older generation here remember for 35 years ago there was a strong power in the world. It's called the USSR. And everybody think to bring everybody who was in that time, to bring an end to this power, it will cost millions of lives. It was very, very powerful. But as we all of us remember, it didn't cost even one single life. And the same thing in South Africa. People think hundreds of thousands will be killed to bring down the regime of the apartheid regime. It cost lives, but much less than people thinking. That shows that if there is a will, there is a way. If, look, today, United States and our government are supporting blindly the state of Israel, blindly. It's crazy. Everything blindly, they give them the full support. Could be, I don't know, maybe their intention is good, they want to help Jews. But I say them, just open the eyes. Just open the eyes, it's not a help for Jews. It's the state of Israel is not in the favor of Jewish people. Don't look on that to help one people by killing other people. I'm sorry, this is not the way. I mean, if they have mercy on Jewish people, they're going through a Holocaust, but why the Palestinians should pay the bill for that? They didn't make the Holocaust. It's the other way, the Palestinians saved Jews. So why they should pay the bill? However, if they want to help Jews, Zionism only brings bloodshed after bloodshed, rivers of blood. And there is no end to that. I don't see the end to that. Give a look. In today's day, yes, going out on the streets, every second week, the third week, there's another rally of hundreds of thousands of people in the street. No any other issue on the world has so much supporters as Palestine. You don't see it. Look, which issue on the world has so many demonstrations, so many supporters? This is only one country. This is many countries. You can see that. The issue of Palestine is just getting bigger and bigger. The Zionists try to quieten them down. Again, I don't label anyone, but like the Nazis said, we will wipe out Jewish people. If you want to see a Jew, you have to go to the museum to see them. This is really what, again, I don't label them with names, but this is what the Zionists say. we will wipe out the Palestinians. 1 generation, 2 generations, give it another 20 years, nobody will remember even there's a people like Palestine. But what you see with your eyes, exactly the opposite. In 1948, there was maybe 1 million Palestinians. I don't know exactly my colleague know exactly.
Between 1.3 and 2 million.
Yes. Today, there are 10, 15 million.
No, I'm sorry, Rabbi. I'm talking about those who were deported.
Yes.
I'm not talking about those who lived in Palestine.
Yes. And today there are 10 million, 15. What's going to be in 10 years, in 20 years? And you can see the support for Palestine. It's getting only bigger and bigger. So the problem is not getting less. It's getting much, much more. And the world is waking up to help and support the Palestinians. So again, when our government in the United States will understand this, just open the eyes and see, don't be blamed. The state of Israel is one big disaster. There is no way out of that. And they will understand that the only way is to bring an end for the state of Israel. And again, if there is a will, there is a way. They will find the way how to do that. Again, I'm coming to the point. I'm not a politician. But the words of the Torah is, Havu aspi Hashem lo yisitzlach. A rebellion against the Almighty cannot succeed and will not succeed. We hope we will see that with our eyes.
Thank you, Rabbi Beck. Abdullah, before you go to you, Brother Munir, we'll come to you afterwards. Yeah?
There's a question for the Rabbi on the right. Earlier you said Gog and Magog are 2 nations, but you didn't want to mention who they were. Why? You don't want to mention.
Because
So just quickly, also for the Sheikh, Islamically, is the indication who the 2 nations are.
This is too important. This is too important, yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great. As I mentioned, as Rabbi Beck has mentioned, we are in exile. We are committed ourselves to fight world Zionism and their atrocities against the Palestinians, against the existence and the illegal occupation of Palestine. However, the nations of Gog and Magog, which I read about by a rabbi 200 years ago, he identified these 2 nations. If I will say it in front of the cameras, that will be defiance against these 2 nations, even though that I know that eventually they're going to be destroyed at that time. If you want to hear the names, I can give it to you privately without cameras. Thank you so much.
And Islamically, for the Sheikh, is there anything in the Quran that indicates who Gog and Magog are?
I already answered you. There are only 2 direct references in the Quran to Gog and Magog. Others are indirect. But by direct reference in Surah Al-Kahf and by direct reference in Surah Al-Anbiya. And I quoted the one from Anbiya about the town. And by identifying the town as Jerusalem, using Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessing be upon him, we came to the conclusion that we can identify Gog and Magog as those who control power in modern Western civilization. Indeed, we can go beyond that in terms of the corrupting power of modern Western civilization, corrupting everything it touches. That the civilization of modern Western civilization is the civilization of Gog and Magog. And finally, that those who control power in the modern West are exactly the same people who control power in Israel.
Brother Abdullah, your question.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. An absolute pleasure to be in your presence. I have a question is related in a far way to the Gog and Magog. The historical reference, if you could answer me that, would you say, in your knowledge, was Dhul-Qarnayn first or Prophet Dawud alayhi salam first?
Was Dhul-Qarnayn first or?
Prophet Dawood first.
Prophet Dawood first.
Dawood alayhi salam,
The
yes.
Quran does not give us any information on the basis of which we can give you an answer. However, I have explained 500,000 times already that the word karn can mean a horn,
Sure.
or it can mean a generation, a people, an epoch. So Zulkarnain can either mean someone who has two horns or someone who impacts on history twice. Remember, I'm not an Arab. This is not my native language. Either someone with two horns or someone who impacts on history twice. The first time, the Quran has never used the word karn to mean a horn. Never. Every time the Quran has used the word karn, it refers to a generation, a people, a time, an epoch. So we are on safe foundations when we say Zulkarnain is someone who impacts on history twice. Brother, I can keep on repeating this from now until the end of the world. They will never accept it. So what can I do? The first time already occurred thousands of years ago. The second time has not as yet occurred. Which human being lives for a few thousand years? None. None. So it is foolish to seek to identify Zulkarnain with any historical personality.
Right.
And that's what they have done. That is Islamic scholarship. I have said no. I am not going to identify Zulkarnain with any person. Rather, I want to suggest, gently so, because I'm treading on new territory, the Zulkarnain is a transcendental being like Khidr alayhi salam. But that's a different story.
Sure.
Good. The second karn has not as yet occurred. When will it occur? Answer, look for footprints. Where do you look for footprints? The first journey went to the Black Sea. Ainun Hamia. And therefore the second journey had to go to the Caspian Sea. So look for footprints at the Black Sea. When power returns to the region of the Black Sea, and that power is resting on the foundations of faith, and that power is resisting Gog and Magog, not like Saudi Arabia and Sudan and Morocco and United Arab Emirates and Bahrain submitting to Gog and Magog. No. That power is resisting Gog and Magog, and that power is reaching out to those who have faith and whose conduct is righteous. Then you know that the second karn has come. And so when Russia recovered her freedom, when the Soviet Union mysteriously so, it didn't happen by accident, folded her tent and disappeared into the darkness of the night. If you have eyes with which to see, you could understand history. Then Russia began the journey of returning to her spiritual heart. That journey has not as yet been completed. They're still returning. But when Russia was blessed by Allah to build military power unmatched in the world, that's why Hugo Chavez remained in Venezuela. They couldn't move him. That's why Maduro is still there. They can't remove him. Because Russia has military power unmatched in the world. When Russia recovered Crimea in 2014, I said, it's time for me to celebrate. Why? Because now Russia commands the Black Sea. And therefore, we can now look forward to the second karn of Karnain.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. I appreciate that. And if I have a second question, it's the second part of my question.
No more for me. That's enough.
No, if this was
Oh, yes, yeah.
for my rabbi brothers. Shalom. My question is to you guys is that during the time of the European Holocaust, would you say, in your opinion, that the reason, the imbalance between the good Jews and the Zionist Jews of today, is it because of the Holocaust that they killed a whole lot of good Jews at that time, and that's the reason of the imbalance for today?
Exactly. Well,
Next time we make a very different arrangement.
thank you, great Sheikh. Well, before the Second World War, most of Jews were anti-Zionists. Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, Czechoslovakia, most of Jews were on our side. Most rabbis have said, if they will capture Palestine, they will be driven out of Palestine. Many rabbis have said that. The communities were anti-Zionist. The religious communities, basically, most of them were anti-Zionists. Unfortunately, the Holocaust has happened, and the majority of the anti-Zionist Jews ended up at the gas chambers. And unfortunately, it was the Amaliyat al-Shaitan, is that the Zionist Jews, which has built their base in Palestine, unfortunately with the help of our government, which didn't know what they're doing, they were able to build a strong foundation in Palestine, and they didn't help to anti-Zionist Jews to be saved from the Holocaust. They only helped Zionist Jews to be saved. Do you know that there was boats in Constanza? Constanza, it's a base, it's a port city at Romania. And there the Zionists they rented big boats to bring those refugees to Palestine in order to create a military power to drive out the Palestinians. On these boats, if a person was suspected as anti-Zionist, he was kicked out of the boat. They used to make the Achshora. Achshora, it's training camps between the First and Second World War. They used to make a lot of propaganda among anti-Zionist Jews to turn them to be Zionist Jews. They took them to training camps in Poland, in Hungary, in Romania, in Slovakia, in Czechoslovakia, and that's how they turned 70,000 young boys and girls, turned them to be infidels and to be pro-Zionist. The Holocaust has contributed, unfortunately, for the world Zionism, is that most of the anti-Zionist communities have been wiped out in the gas chambers. And the Zionist Jews that were being secured, placed in the boats in Constanza, as I said, hundreds of thousands of them were saved and were shipped into Palestine, unfortunately. And that's what helped the Zionist movement to gain a very strong foundation in Palestine, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
Brothers, any questions from your side? For the sister again? Okay, fine, go for it.
You want to speak on the microphone, my sister?
Are there any Jewish teachings or eschatological teachings on Al-Aqsa Mosque?
At a mosque?
Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Al-Aqsa Mosque.
I think it's a religious question, so we refer to the rabbi.
Okay.
I will add to the question of Messiah, what many people asking what's going to happen. We touched already the point of Messiah, but still we didn't touch one point. People asking, okay, you say that everybody will serve God in harmony and peace. Fine, there you go. Can I ask you in which way they will serve God? Okay, Jews believe in the Jewish way. The Muslims believe in the Muslim way. The Christian believe in the Christian way. So again, they're going to fight each other, kill each other. So we come back to the same point. And this will answer the question of I'll ask the mosque and ask some people asking, do you believe in the third temple? Where is going to be built? What is your belief to? We have to understand, this is very, very important to understand this. The belief has never been a problem. The problem is when you come to occupy people, when you come to force your belief on other people. You force people to accept. But the belief himself, I give you an example. You are Muslim. Have you got a problem to sit in a coffee shop, a cup of tea with a Christian friend, and you share with them the belief? You told them, we believe then Messiah will come, which will be like that, like that. He say, we believe like that, and you are best friends. We have no problem with each other. Because the belief has never been a problem. The problem is when you come to force. Now, the belief what we have in Messiah, this is a belief.